Hey everyone, today on Dessertophilia I'm showing you how to make an amazing almond ice cream with Tonka. And if you don't have access to Tonka beans, you can use either vanilla or cinnamon. This ice cream is so creamy and soft, you're gonna love it. In my double bottom pot I have 350 milliliters of full fat milk, and to that I'm grating a Tonka bean. For this task I recommend you use a very fine citrus grater or zester. But if you don't have one, don't worry, we're gonna emulsify the mixture with an immersion blender anyway. Add the larger piece that remains at the end as well, and then add 30 milliliters of agave syrup. The agave syrup helps to keep the ice cream more scoopable. And the next step is to add 3 large egg yolks. Now take a whisk and mix a little just until the mixture seems kind of homogeneous. There's no need to insist right now. When you obtain this sunny color, it's okay to set the pot aside. Here I have 120 grams of xylitol and a tiny pinch of salt, and to them I'm adding 50 grams of skim milk powder. I prefer to use a very small whisk to combine the dry ingredients. There's no need to insist a lot, just break up the bigger lumps, and then you can add the dry ingredients to the milk. Now take the whisk again and mix well for a minute or so, just until you notice that there aren't any dry ingredients on the surface. And now it's time to add the star ingredient of this ice cream, 120 grams of pure almond paste or butter. I prefer to use one that's unsweetened, and I recommend you do the same. To make my almond and Tonka ice cream as smooth and as luxurious as possible, I prefer to emulsify the mixture with an immersion blender. 1 or 2 minutes at low speed. That's all it takes. Now take the pot to the stove, and on the smallest flame, mix constantly without stopping until you reach 82 degrees Celsius. Then you can turn off the heat and remove the pot. In my heat-proof bowl, I have 20 grams of cold butter, and I'm pouring the hot almond custard directly over it. Then take a soft silicone spatula and scrape the bottom and walls of the pot. You don't want to be missing on any of that delicious almond and Tonka paste. Let the hot almond custard sit like this for 1 or 2 minutes to really start melting the butter. And then it's back to the immersion blender. Run it on a lower speed, and then add 350 milliliters of whipping cream. The whipping cream should be cold to bring down the temperature of the custard. After a minute of mixing like this, you can remove the blender. Cover the custard with plastic wrap directly on the surface, let it cool down to room temperature, and then refrigerate it for at least 8 hours. After the time has passed, it's time to spin the ice cream. So carefully peel away the plastic wrap and get your ice cream machine ready. But first, stir the cold cream and scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl to make sure the mixture is homogeneous. And that's because the solids in the almond paste drop to the bottom of the bowl. Get your ice cream machine going and follow the manufacturer's instructions. Mine needs about half an hour for this quantity. And while I pour it and scrape the bowl, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. And while the ice cream was churning, I froze a glass casserole. This way, when the soft ice cream, would you look at that beauty? Oh, anyway, this way when the soft ice cream gets in contact with the glass, it won't melt. I prefer to use a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula to get the ice cream out, and then I'm leveling it in the casserole with a silicone spatula. And of course, there's a little bit left for me, just to give it a try before I freeze it. So now cover it and freeze the ice cream for 6 to 8 hours. And after the time has passed, it's almost time to enjoy it. Just let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes to soften up a bit. This sugar-free almond and tonka ice cream is incredibly soft and creamy, and you can see it scoops out beautifully. And to add a little more texture and a bit of a crunch, I'm adding some almond flakes, but that's entirely optional. And all you have to do now is just take a comfortable seat somewhere and enjoy every spoonful of this delicacy. Until next time, dessert lovers!